Hey, it's CJ Wilson here, your host with DoakTalk. Going to jump right into it. This is the start of a huge summer for FSU in regards to recruiting. As you guys know, the end of May, going throughout the entire month of June, it's official visit season. And FSU has their first official visit weekend of the summer coming up on May 30th through June the 1st. Going to go ahead and go through some names that will be on campus for the official visits for FSU. Some important ones, nonetheless. We'll go ahead and jump right into it. But before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button and join the Dope Talk community if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the Dope Talk community if you haven't already. All right, guys, we'll jump right into it. Like I said, it's a huge, important weekend for FSU as far as it's a nice list as far as the number of visitors from a quality and quantity standpoint. It's only 7 visitors for this weekend, so I feel like each visitor will have ample time with the staff to, ask questions, get that personal one-on-one feel. And at the same time, these are some very important visitors as well, too, that do carry weight in regards to how can I put this? They do carry value for FSU in regards to being a part of the 2026 recruiting cycle. The first prospect we want to discuss is four-star offensive tackle Johnny Jones, standing at 6'6", 305 pounds. Johnny Jones recently released a top 6 prior to his official visit, and of course FSU was included. The remaining schools were Penn State, UCLA, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and Colorado. Like I said, standing at 6'6", 305 pounds, hailing from Tampa, Florida. He did mention that FSU has been one of the more consistent teams in recruiting him, so it's going to be good to get him on campus. He has, like I've been telling you guys all along, as far as what Herb Hand has been recruiting in that type of deal from an offensive line standpoint, is not necessarily stars isn't the biggest thing with me, especially when it comes to offensive line. It's more so body size. How do they translate from a physical standpoint to the next level? From body size, athleticism, feet, all that type of deal. How can they be developed, frame? All that plays into a part as far as offensive lineman. And of course, development and coaching, which is the main key. But frames is second to me as far as what's more important. What type of body frame you have for offensive lineman from a high school recruit. A lot of offensive line coaches look at that because they feel like they can mold clay, so to speak, and develop these guys. So if you have the body type and things like that, you pretty much won half the battle. And Johnny Jones definitely has that. So he will be a big time official visitor for FSU leading or going into this weekend. Next one I want to speak about is another offensive lineman, Samuel Rosenberg. 4-star, 6'5", 285 tackle from Clearwater. This is another kid that has the body type we're looking for, right? He also has official visits set up to Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, and Ohio State. So this is the big time, big dog battle for Samuel Rosenborough. But I think FSU is in the thick of things as far as its recruitment. Herb Hanna's done a hell of a job here, so we'll see how things play out after this official visit and see where FSU stands amongst those other programs that are heavy hitters on the recruiting trail within Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, Ohio State, etc. We're going to stick with the trenches a little bit here. Next, we're going to go to the defensive line and the defensive tackle. Shout out to defensive line coach Terrence Pot Roast Knighton for locking this official visit down. And that's Kendall Guervil, 6'4", 315-pound 4-star out of Fort Myers. He originally had Alabama scheduled for an official visit for this weekend, but FSU was able to bump Alabama out of the mix and lock down this official visit for the in-state defensive tackle. And again, this is another heavy hitter battle. You have Texas, Florida, Miami, and UGA are the other schools that Kendall has official visits lined up for. So it's a big time battle nonetheless to try to get this commitment from Kendall Guervil. But the first step is getting them on campus for an official visit. FSU secured that by knocking out the University of Alabama. Now it's time to impress them on this official visit to have a lasting impression to stack up against the other teams that's recruited him down the stretch when they, he take official visits to the likes of Texas, Florida, Miami, Georgia, etc. So again, this is a big time player in Kendall. FSU is, I guess you could say, playing catch up, so to speak, with other programs in regards to getting in proper footing, but they did a good job with getting this official visit set. Now it's time to go ahead and take the next step and knock it out of the park during his weekend in Tallahassee. We might as well stick with the offensive line, with the trenches, rather than go back to the offensive line. We got 3-star offensive tackle, offensive guard, Jakobe Green from Niceville, Florida. He is committed to the University of Mississippi State. This is an interesting one as well, as Herb Hand recently did his due diligence and went out to see Jakobe Green at Niceville on May 21st, and that's when FSU extended an offer to him. And right after Herb Hand saw him, extended an offer, that type of deal, he pretty much, like a few days later, scheduled an official visit to FSU for this weekend. FSU and Ole Miss are the only schools that he does have official visits scheduled for. And just the timeliness of the offer and how quick he was to set the official visit up lets me know that the interest is reciprocated from Jakobe Green. This is going to be interesting. He is an in-state kid, so that may hold weight. As you guys know, Niceville is a few hours down the road from Tallahassee. So we'll see how it plays out. He stands at 6'3", 335 pounds. Body type, body type, body types, frames. I've been preaching this a lot, and this is another example of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out following his official visit to FSU. I do think FSU is a real player, and he has a lot of interest in FSU due to getting that offer, him scheduling that official visit pretty much seamlessly right after the offer. So we'll see how things go for Jakobe Green. Let's go to some skill guys, right? You guys know I love me some receivers and DBs, so we'll round out this video with a few of those guys. And the next prospect I want to talk about is one of the most intriguing prospects within this 2026 class. And to be completely honest with you, one of the more interesting, and I guess you could say a favorite type of recruit that I've been following a little bit for FSU, and that's 3-star wide receiver Camden Kart from Texas, standing at 5'9", 165 pounds. All right, so you guys see a receiver from Texas standing at 5'9", 165 pounds. Not ideal size, right? So something intangible has to stand out with this kid, right? Mind you, just to kind of get side before I get too sidetracked and go down this Camden Capehart rabbit hole a little bit, he is a 3-star receiver that is committed to Mississippi State as well. Same school that, of course, Jakobe Green is committed to. So 5'9", 165 pounds. He has to have some type of intangibles that would make FSU or any other school, rather, due to his stature, recruit him at a high level, right? Well, you're damn right. This kid runs a 10-1 in the 100-meter dash. I'll repeat that one more time. This kid runs a 10-1-4 in the 100-meter dash. Like, this kid is all world fast. Excuse me. He has world-class speed. He's a 2-time state champion in the state of Texas. Big time speed. If you look at his high school film, that speed stands out. The kid just flies. It's like a man against boys when it comes to comparing the speed on tape with this kid. This past season, his junior year, he had 56 catches, 1,300 receiving yards, and 25 touchdowns. Speed. This is a guy that can flourish within the Gus Malzahn type of offense. Offense built for playmakers like Norvell States as well, too. If you factor in the type of playmaking ability he has, that game-breaking speed, and Malzahn's, I guess you could say, desire and willingness to get his playmakers, receivers rather, in space and let them do their thing athletically and be effective in that way, I think it's a match made in heaven for Camden Capehart. I like this kid a lot. Again, 10-1 doesn't grow on. You don't see that shit every day. That doesn't grow on trees. Elite speed from a high school level, I would say 10-7 to 10-5. That's really elite speed. 10-4, well, a little bit lower than that. Well, 10-5 to 10-7, 10-8, in my opinion, that's elite from a high school standpoint. You start getting 10-5 and below, that's a different type of territory. You're talking about 10-1, that's all world, that's all track, that's just blazing type of speed. So Camden Capehart is in a different stratosphere when it comes to speed running the 10-1. So this, you can tell the reason why I'm so excited about this kid, and just interesting to see how this visit matriculates and can FSU become a real player, because again, you don't see a 10-1-5. That doesn't, well, 10-1-4 rather, that doesn't grow on trees every day. Next defensive back next skill player I want to talk about is a defensive back, and that's Traeviss Stevenson, 6'1", 181-pound, 3-star out of Quitman, Georgia. He is currently committed to Georgia Tech, but this kid has been blowing up as of late. FSU was able to secure the official visit for this weekend. He also has visits scheduled for the University of Texas, University of Georgia, and the University of Auburn. So it's going to be real tough for Georgia Tech to try to fend off these teams within the Southeast trying to flip Traeviss Stevenson, and then FSU was trying to put their head in the party as well. As you guys know, Quitman, Georgia is less than 70 miles from Tallahassee, so it would be a short trip if he was to sign with the Florida State Seminoles. But FSU is putting on the full court press for Traeviss, rather, and to see how things pan out within this recruitment and see if they could get a late flip. So that's what we have for this upcoming weekend from an official visit standpoint. Again, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We have more of these videos coming out as the month of June progress in regards to official visits and things like that. Commitment season will be coming soon as well. So make sure you guys tap in with DoakTalk. It's going to be really fun within the next month or two from the recruiting front from FSU. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Go Noles.